Hi, welcome to Big Daddy Bakes. I'm Big Daddy, and today I'm going to show you how easy it is to make whole wheat bread. It's delicious, it's nutritious, and I think you'll love it. So, let's get to it. I'll show you how to do it. For this recipe, you will need 1½ cups of warm water, which is about 110 degrees Fahrenheit, 2 teaspoons of instant yeast, 1/4 cup of maple syrup or honey, 3 tablespoons of sunflower oil, 1/2 teaspoon of salt. You'll also need 3 cups of whole wheat flour, and in another part of the recipe you will need an extra cup of whole wheat flour. First, sift 3 cups of the wheat flour with a fine mesh sieve. This is going to remove some of the extra bran that will keep our bread from rising really tall and light. So I'm just going to sift this through. And you can see that there will be a little bit of bran left over. So in our large bowl that we have, I'm going to add the water, the honey. We have our honey. I'm going to add the yeast, the oil, and the salt. I'm going to stir this together. It will make a loose, shaggy dough. And then I'm going to cover this and let it rest for about 15 minutes. Now that the dough has had time to absorb the water, go ahead and add just a little bit more flour to make a dough. I'm just going to sprinkle in a little bit more and stir it in. This puffed up a little bit so I could see that the yeast is working, and I think that will be enough that I can start kneading. So I'm going to turn it out. I'm going to add a little flour on the top. It's very soft right now, so this will take a little bit to work it in. So it may take 1/2 cup of flour or a little bit more. I can start this kneading process. So basically when you knead, you're pushing forward, you're pulling it back, and you just repeat the process. I'm going to add a little more flour because it's really sticky, and we're just going to keep going. Okay, we're at the point now where I can stretch it and I can see a window pane when I stretch out a thin piece of the dough. I'm going to clean up my board with my bench scraper, and I'm going to fold it, roll it into a nice ball. It's nice and soft. It's not real sticky, a tiny bit, but it's not over saturated with flour. And I have about a teaspoon of oil in this bowl. I'm just going to kind of roll it around in it, flip it over, pat it down, and then it's going to stay in this bowl for about 45 minutes to an hour until it's double in size. So I'll be back in an hour. Okay, our dough has risen, so I'm going to punch it down. And I'm going to put a little bit of flour on the bench. And I'm just going to kind of press this out to about the size of my pan. This is a 9 by 5 inch pan. Then I'm going to roll it up very tightly. So there's no air trapped in. When I get to the end here, I am going to just pinch those seams closed. Then I'm going to invert it and put it back in the pan. Now this will need to rise about 30 to 40 minutes. When it's a little past the top of the pan, I will put it in the oven. About 10 minutes before you think it's done, go ahead and turn your oven on. You're going to need to have it at 350 degrees. So I'm going to let this rise, and I'll be back with you in 30 minutes. My bread has risen, and it's going to go into our 350 degree oven for about 40 to 45 minutes. We'll be checking at the end to make sure it's at least 190 degrees Fahrenheit. Our dough has finished in the oven, and I just use a thermometer to do it. It's like a little bit more than I want it, but it's fine. It's over 190 degrees. And I'm just going to tip it out onto a rack and let it cool completely before cutting into it. This will take a couple of hours. So this is our loaf of whole wheat bread. It has a nice crust. The inside is soft. Although it doesn't rise as much as some other breads, it's still very tasty and it makes nice sandwiches or toast. If you like what I'm doing here on my channel, please give me a like and subscribe, and also click the little alarm button to let you know when new videos have come out. Thank you so much for watching.